Aberdeen.
Aberdeen.
Oh,
Yeah.
Aberdeen.
Mhm.
Aye, well, I'm originally Brecon.
Aberdeen. Brecon. Oh,
Okay.
yes, Brecon. Mhm.
I
Eh?
didn't. I didn't realize there was a drinking problem in Scotland.
Yes.
You cheeky
They just.
bastard.
Yes. We all drink Jack Daniels here.
Aye. Anything will do, actually.
Yeah.
I always like to say that when people come from Ireland. I'll say, "Oh, Ireland, that's unusual. I didn't realize there was a drinking problem there." They just crack up. They just go, "We invented alcoholism. What are you, crazy?" All right,
I don't know.
glad
I
you two
don't
are
know.
here. Let's
Thank you.
go. You're welcome. Here's Aaron. Aaron with 95. Aaron with 95. To make things even more interesting, I'll make Aaron a co-host too. Aaron, just don't do anything and don't say anything. Okay. Try not to get in trouble. And just hey, Aaron, you know what else? Cat Friday was yesterday, so we have no kitties today. You can talk though. How's it going? How's life?
It's good. It's very good. Just got out of another meeting, and then I started today with Father Terry, and that was amazing.
Oh, did anybody else go to that? It was amazing, huh? Oh, yeah, were there a
Yeah.
lot of people? Were there a lot of people there on Zoom?
No, because he accidentally forgot to tell somebody named Mary to put it out. And so he started it with that saying that he forgot to tell her to
He,
put it out to all these people. So that really eliminated, there was
he
only,
put it out because Mary sent me the thing, and I sent it out to everybody.
oh,
Okay.
yeah, there was
So,
probably 6 or
anyways,
7.
glad you're here.
Yep.
Welcome. Welcome back. Yeah, greeter. You can turn your camera on too. Oh, there. Oh, look at that. There's an ocean background. Uh, Zoom user, how are you? Where are you calling from? And if you could unmute, please, and come on in. What we're doing right now is we're screening people for Zoom bombers and everything. So everything's turned off for right now. So glad you're here. Hi, let's see, Kim. Hi, Kim. How are you? You're in the right place. Where are you? Would somebody unmute Kim? Let me talk to her. Oh, there you are. Hi, Kim. Hey, Kim. So where are you calling from today, and how long are you sober? Jan to Kim. Can you unmute? Robert, how's it going? Good to see you. And okay, let's go to Zoom user. If you don't talk to me, kids, then I delete you. I mean, I kick you out. I put you um in the what you call it room. Hey, here's JT. JT, how are you? Thanks for all those things you're sending, JT. They're
Thank
so
you.
fun.
I do my best. It doesn't listen when you, but anyways, good. Thank
I
you.
have one of them behind me. So what do? You type
Oh,
into you type
you
into
just
chat you type into
yeah,
chat DT what you want it to make and
yes,
then it just makes it.
yeah. You say, show me an AA meeting with funny elves drinking coffee, and it's Christmas time in the North Pole, and then it'll make something good, maybe it'll make something stupid, and you got to keep talking to it, telling it to do it over again. It doesn't listen. So you have
Can
to
you
do it
get
over
it?
and over again.
Can you get it to make a really serious one with a star and then have Jesus attending an AA meeting?
Yes, I
And
can.
have Jesus, and then maybe like and then we'll do another one with Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. Like the baby Jesus, and having an AA meeting in Bethlehem.
All right, I'll
Do
do my best. That's a tall order, but I think I can. I think I can get there.
you think that's sacrilegious?
Um, well, it
Let's
depends
see.
on what
Raise
our
hands.
intent
Who
is.
wants to see Jesus in an AA meeting? He doesn't have a drinking problem. He's like the big healer. He shows up as the third step. Boom. Okay, good. Stay. Oh, God, look at this. See, Ron likes it. Okay. It's Monday here on Newcomer Slipper Step Workshop. I'm Jann, alcoholic. Right now we're going through the room, clearing. Hey, Robert, how are you? I just want to know, brother, do you guys, yes, we do. Um, if you write to us, would you put up the email address for him to write? And then write to us and request confirmation, and we'll send it to you, okay? So Kim, how are you? Could you unmute, please? Hey, where are you calling from, Kim, and how long have you been sober?
Hi, I just got out of a facility. So,
Okay.
I was there for what, 38 days, I guess. So that's
Oh yeah.
about it.
And
So,
and did you get the t-shirt? The
t-shirt?
$20,000 t-shirt? Yeah.
Oh, no. Whoops,
And
nope, didn't get that one. Okay.
huh. Did they give you a supply of books like the AA book and all
Yep,
that?
I've got that one. And then I have the Living Sober and I have, what else? Oh, Narcotics Anonymous
Oh
one
yeah.
as well. So,
Okay, so where are you calling from today, and how
New
long have you
York.
been sober?
I'm in New York.
Okay, and how long are you sober? How long are you sober?
Me,
Yeah,
38 days.
38 days. And when you say New York, are you like in New York City or upstate
No,
New
I'm
York?
upstate. I'm in Dutchess County.
Dutchess County. We
Mm-hmm.
have a bunch of people here from Dutchess County.
Woohoo.
We have one, Matt. Matt's from Dutchess County, aren't you, Matt?
Uh-huh.
Oh, he lives near
No.
where? Okay.
No?
Uh, well, he lives up there somewhere, so don't worry about it. He lives near Niagara Falls.
Okay.
Okay. Glad you're here. Welcome aboard. Jason, Akron, Ohio. How long are you sober, Jason?
47 days.
Okay. And then Naaman in Michigan. How long are you sober? Mute him.
Hey, 335 days.
335. Glad you're here. Um, let's make Rebecca a co-host. So if I make a bunch of people co-hosts, it'll like make the whole meeting crazy. Everybody will be stepping on each other. Look at, and then like they'll be like Aaron will be kicking people out, and Cassie will be letting people back in. The whole meeting will go to hell in a handbasket. Here's Ron in Kentucky. Hi, Ron. How are you? Where are you calling from? How long are you sober? Jan to Ron. Harush. Okay. Here you go, Matt. This one's for you. Harushu Kalitote is from Cincinnati, and he's got 7 days. Let's go to Kayla. Can't forget Kayla. Craig. Hey, Craig. How are you? Where are you
Good.
calling from today?
How are you guys?
Where are you calling from today, and how long are you sober?
Boulder, Colorado, 23 days.
Boulder. Okay. Welcome to Newcomer Slippers Step Workshop. You've been to AA before?
I have. I've been on this meeting before.
Oh, really? Okay. Oh, really? Yeah. I think I kind of remember you. Were you here like a year ago, or 5 years ago, or 3 years ago?
No, a couple days ago.
A couple days ago. Oh, okay. No wonder. No wonder we're so familiar. I don't remember you at all. But do you know that we get 100 new people here every single week? Sometimes people come in with clones. You know how they clone Dolly the sheep? You know how that happened? Well, like take Cassie. Cassie works in the medical field, and apparently somebody cloned her, and she showed up twice in the same meeting. Okay. This isn't funny at all, is it? Ron, how long are you sober, Ron?
A Ron alcoholic, 79 days.
79 in Kentucky. Zoom user. Hey, Zoom user. What's your first name? Where are you calling from? Are you here for AA? Are you sober? And JT, how long are you sober, JT?
175 days.
Okay, good. Hey, Eamon, how are you? And how long are you sober? Where are you calling from? And are you here for AA? Jen to Eamon. Let's go to Monica. Hey, Monica, how about you? Are you here for AA? Where are you calling from? How long are you sober? Okay, so we got, let's go to the next page. If you guys don't answer me, we're going to kick you out of the meeting. Paul. Hey, Paul, how are you? Are you here for AA? Where are you calling from? And how long you
Yeah,
sober?
hey, I'm here for AA. I'm calling out of San Antonio, Texas.
Oh, San Antonio. And how long are you sober?
I really couldn't tell you. I had to
Like
start studying
day
AA
one?
as yeah, you could say that. I had to start coming to AA as a condition for my probation, so I really
Oh,
haven't
that's
kept track.
good. Welcome aboard. And you just write to us and we will give you confirmation. Let's go to Jessica. Hi, Jessica. How are you? Where are you calling from today? And
Hi, Jen. Jessica, alcoholic from Boulder, 31 days sober. Did 30 yesterday. Woohoo. Um, and yeah, I think that was all that
have
was.
you been to this meeting before?
One other time, and that would have been on Thursday, was my first time here.
Oh, no. Are you the Jessica with a child or no?
I am a Jessica with a child. I don't know
But
how
like,
many does exist with
like
child.
how old is your child? Like
7.
so. Okay, you weren't the Jessica. Okay. Anyways, glad you're here. Welcome aboard and
Thank you.
welcome to Newcomer Slipper Step Workshop. Okay, we're going to go back to Emin. You have to unmute. Talk to me. And Zoom user, same with you. Unmute. Talk to me. Where are you calling from? How long you been sober? And etc. Okay, and then so Emin, we're gonna put in the waiting room. Now, don't anybody let them back in. And then we're gonna put Zoom user in the waiting room. Chances are pretty good they're Zoom bombers anyways. Jeff, Stacy, I think we're good. So now let's have Lisa, and then Preston and Matt are gonna help Lisa. Um, and then let's have Lisa, if you could put up everything to read, start doing that now in chat. And then we're going to ask, let me just see. Cassie, would you like to read today? Or are you busy or we can have
Hey,
Matt
Jen,
read?
I just started the bath.
Okay, good. No problem. Good. Glad you're here. Yeah. So over to Matt. Matt's going to tell everybody what this meeting's about. But before he does that, um, we're going to do one thing here, if you please. I'm going to turn on your, let's see here, excuse me for a second. Um, okay, you can start your video. Oh, look at, Preston has this cat with him. Attack cat. Okay, so over to Matt, who's going to
All set.
tell everybody what this meeting's about.
Okay, Mad Alcoholic. Welcome to Newcomer Slipper Step Workshop. If you're new to AA or coming back, this meeting is for you. This group is exactly what the name says, a workshop. We read 5 AA books, work the steps, sponsor you, give writing and reading assignments. We'll teach you an AA program. We move right along here and people get well here. Newcomer Slipper Step Workshop is a step workshop. Unlike most AA meetings, it's not a speaker's meeting nor a discussion meeting. It's more like an AA class, AA 101. You want to have the attitude of learning, do the assigned reading and writing on the steps. We'll take you through the steps and AA books in short order. So if you're looking for guidance and direction in an AA program, this meeting is for you. Security for Newcomer Slipper Step Workshop. We use the waiting room. When you come in, we ask your first name, last initial, country or city, and how long you've been sober. We have chat turned off. You can chat with the host or co-host. Unmute is turned off. Cameras and pictures are turned off at the beginning of each meeting, and we turn them on later. We don't exchange phone numbers. You can get the number of the host for text and support. Here is our email for meeting confirmation, stepworkshop1@gmail.com. And this is good for school, class, work, probation, court orders, etc. And there's a link to the meeting in chat. We do all of the above for safety reasons since everyone is new here and we want to protect you. Zoom bombers try to get in and the above eliminates them. You'll notice this is a step workshop and not a speakers or discussion meeting. It's like a class, AA 101, AA University. It's a very unique meeting since we use the same principles AA used between 1932 and 1939. Everybody works in the group and moves through the 12 steps to live our lives free from alcohol and learn a new way of living. Glad you could make it. Announcements. AA in this meeting is supported by our own contributions to Seventh Traditions. You can make donations to @Jann-Scott in Venmo. And contributions go to Pay for Zoom, and we make monthly donations to Boulder 1 AA and Boulder County AA. We spend about $250 a month. This group meets daily with the following formats. Monday's Step Meeting, 12 and 12, Meme Monday. Tuesday's Big Book, T-Shirt Tuesday, AA Inspires Preferred. Wednesday is Bill Sees It, Sunglass Wednesday. Thursday's Beginners, Steps 1, 2, or 3, or any beginner-related topic, and it's Dog Thursday. Friday's Open, the chair picks the topic, and it's Cat Friday. Saturday, Living Sober, Virtual Background Day. And Sunday, Daily Reflections, Fashion Sunday. Please join me in the Serenity Prayer. It goes like this. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. AA Preamble. Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of people who share their experience, strength, and hope with each other that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. There are no dues or fees for AA membership. We're self-supporting through our own contributions. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organization, or institution, does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. There's a link to the newcomers packet in chat. And for newcomers, come to our meeting for 5 days, see how you like it. We'll put you to work. And please introduce yourself as an alcoholic when speaking. With that, back to you, Jan, in the studio.
All right, thank you. So here we go. Today, we're going to work on first of all, we have to read from, what is it called? Living Sober. And who knows where we left off. So our co-hosts generally keep track of where we left off in each book. Let's see if anybody did for today.
Was it being grateful? Was that it?
That's what I have.
That's what you have? Were you here
Yeah,
last week?
Yep.
Okay, so now, if Preston, if you could put up, and you can follow along here, the next one, which would be, let's see, what's it called here? Excuse me.
I think we got to read Being Grateful.
We haven't read Being Grateful yet? Okay, where did we leave
You agree,
off?
Preston? I think on page 46 is what I had, but on Being Grateful, number 9, chapter 19.
Okay. Okay. Okay, good. Being grateful. Here we go. And then, who has the book? So in order to read, you have to have the book. I hate it when people read from, it's like 3 pages here. Anybody have the book? La, 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 la. La, la, la. And he put a link up to it. Who's got the book? Here it is. Book. Okay, Ron, you want to read the first page? Introduce yourself and read.
I'm Ron, I'm an alcoholic. Page 47, 19, Being Grateful. One AA member recalls that even during the worst of her drinking career, she never lost her faith. I had a firm, unshakable belief in disaster, she explains. Every morning, almost my first conscious thought was, oh my God, I wonder what new troubles are going to hit me today. When someone knocked at the door, she was sure it was for an unpleasant reason. She confidently expected only bills and other bad news in the mail, and if the telephone rang, she sighed in anticipation of dreary tidings. Such an enormous expenditure of energy and negative speculations is familiar to many of us. We remember the dark cast of mind that prevailed during the active stage of our own alcoholism. Some of it, to be sure, may have been simply a pharmacological effect of alcohol, which is a depressant drug. When we get the last molecules of alcohol out of our system, a lot of the gloom disappears along with it. But the habit of thinking in such a neurotically depressed ways can stay with some of us, we have found, until we learn to spot it and carefully root it out. This is no prescription for mindless Pollyannaism. We do not pretend that hardships are meaningless, nor deny that everyone has mountains to climb from time to time. Grief really hurts, and so do other kinds of pain. Continue.
Well, no, okay, that's good. Who wants to pick it up from there? Who else? Okay, go ahead, Lori. And then raise your hand if you want to read.
Lori, I'm an alcoholic. Where did he end?
However,
Okay. However, now that we are free of alcohol, we have much more control over our thinking. We have a broader range of thoughts in minds that are no longer so blurred. The thoughts we choose to spend time on in any given 24 hours can strongly influence the complexion of our feelings for that day, bright and healthy or murky and disheartened. Since so much of our thinking used to be intricately associated with our drinking lifestyle, we have found it worthwhile to look closely at our thinking habits and find different and better ways of using our minds. The following illustrations may not be an exact fit for you, but even if the words are new, perhaps your emotions will be moved to recognize familiar emotional tunes accompanying them. Some are intentionally exaggerated to make the point unmistakably clear. Others may at first glance look trivial. Scores of us have found, though, that easy little changes are a good starting point for a big, strong recovery. When our favorite toddler falls, bumps her head, and squalls, it's fairly simple to see whether she is seriously hurt or just frightened. Then we have a choice. We can either shriek hysterically because the child got hurt or frightened and carry on over what could have happened, or we can keep our cool and be comforting, grateful that no serious harm occurred.
stop right there. Okay, next person who wants to read, who has the book, raise your hand just like this. Come on, you alcoholics. I will call on Matt. Go ahead, Matt. You're up.
All right. When our 90-year-old grandfather, long ill and unhappy, finally dies, we again have a choice. We can insist that the only thing to do is rage and grief and anger at the surprise of it, or wallow in guilt, and perhaps drink in either case. Or we can, besides being sad, remember that he did have a long, often good and happy life, that we did try to be good to him and assure him of our continuing love, and that his suffering and unhappiness are now over. It is doubtful that he would appreciate our using his passing as an excuse to get drunk and endanger our health. When we finally get to visit a place long dreamed of, we can concentrate on the inconveniences of our lodging and the weather, the passing of the good old days, and the fact that we only have a few weeks or days to spare. Or we can be grateful that we finally got there at all and keep adding to the mental list of the delights we can find if we look for them. We can watch out for a tendency to say, yes, but, in response to any optimistic, complimentary, or positive statement. A friend's good luck or his youthful appearance, like mine, or a celebrity's plug for a charity may tempt us to say sourly, yes, but. But does this thinking habit help anyone, including ourselves? Can we let something good simply be? Can't we just be pleased about it rather than trying to downgrade it?
Stop there.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. So listen, you guys, if you want to read, raise your hand. Now, this is a participatory meeting, which means if you have a book, you should have your hand up. This is a workshop. This is not, you can't sit back in this meeting and say, oh, I'm just listening. There is no listening in this meeting. The other thing is turn your cameras on. You can't sit back. I have my camera off while I'm doing a bunch of other stuff. Not in this meeting. This is a workshop. This is Newcomer Slipper Step Workshop. It's a class. It's AA 101. It's like AA University. It's like a lab. It's like a freaking lab. It's like a lab in here. We have boiling, what are those things called? Bunsen burners and don't drink the formaldehyde. Okay, Rebecca, raise those hands. God damn it. You're up next. Jan proceeded to curse the meeting out. Go ahead, Rebecca.
Rebecca Alcoholic. Those who try to quit smoking realize a number of possibilities are open. Complaining ad infinitum about how hard it is to quit, or searching out a smoking cessation program, talking to a doctor about what kind of treatment might be available, or simply enjoying a deep smoke-free breath when we think of it, being grateful an hour has passed without a drag. And even if we do light up unconsciously, congratulating ourselves for putting it out without smoking it down to a stub. If one of us wins only $500 in a sweepstakes that has a $50,000 top prize, the sensible mood is easy to pick out. It is not bitterness at losing the biggest pot. We continually find opportunities to make similar considered choices, and our experience convinces us that feeling gratitude is far more wholesome, makes staying sober much easier. It will come as a pleasant surprise to discover that it is not difficult to develop the habit of gratitude if we must make some effort. Many of us were reluctant to try, but the results, we have to admit, did speak for themselves. It may sting us at first to bite the cynical comment from the tip of our tongue. We may have to swallow twice before getting out a mildly positive remark of the type we called saccharine during our drinking life. But it soon
Stop
comes
right there. Okay, perfect. Go ahead there, Preston. You're up next. Thank you for reading.
All right, Preston, alcoholic, but it soon comes easier and can become a strong and comfortable force in our recovery. Life was meant to be enjoyed, and we mean to enjoy it. Rifling back through the memories of our drinking past, some of us spot another manifestation of negativism. But it too is a type of behavior many have learned to change, and the change in our actions has also brought better attitudes and an improvement in our feelings. For some reason, we spent a lot of time thinking or noting or talking about how wrong or mistaken so many other people persistently were. Whether they really were or not is irrelevant to the welcome change in our own feelings now. For some, the change begins with a tentative willingness to wait and see, to accept for a moment the hypothesis that the other person just possibly might be right. Before rushing to judgment, we suspend our own argument, listen carefully, and watch for the outcome. It may or may not prove us to be in the wrong. That is not the important issue here. Whichever way the chips fall, we have at least temporarily freed ourselves from our driving need to always be right or one up. We have found that a sincere I don't know can be rejuvenating. Saying I'm right, you're wrong is invigorating when we are sufficiently at ease with ourselves not to be bothered about actually being in the wrong. We are left feeling relaxed and thankful that we can be open to new ideas. The finest scientists are always alert to new evidence which may prove their own theories wrong, so they can discard any false notions and move closer to the ultimate truth they are seeking. When we achieve a similar openness, we find our instant negativism has begun to evaporate. Perhaps an illustration can clarify the relationship between the desire to be always right, the negativism of seeing almost everyone else as wrong, and the freedom to be wrong ourselves, to grasp and use new ideas and other help for staying sober. Many of us, when drinking, were deeply sure for years that our own drinking was harmless. We were not necessarily smart alecky about it, but when we heard a clergyman, a psychiatrist, or an AA member talk about alcoholism, we were quick to observe that our drinking was different, that we did not need to do any of the things those people suggested. Or even if we could admit that we were having a bit of trouble with our drinking, we were sure we could lick it on our own. Thus, we shut the door against new information and help. And behind that door, our drinking went on, of course. Our troubles had to be pretty dire, and we had to begin to feel pretty hopeless before we could open up a little bit and let some fresh light and help.
Stop right there. Okay, go ahead, Stacy.
Stacy, alcoholic. For thousands of us, one of the clearest memories which incorporate the wisdom of being grateful is our recollection of what we originally thought and said about Alcoholics Anonymous when it first came to our attention. It's fine for them, but I am not that bad, so it isn't for me. I've met a couple of former AAs drunk in bar rooms. From what they say, I can tell it wouldn't work for me either. I knew a fellow who joined AA. He turned into a rigid fanatic, dull, intolerant teetotaler. All that God stuff and going to meetings turned me off. Anyhow, I've never been a joiner. Now honesty makes us admit that we spent more time concentrating on the negative opinions and reinforcing our own reasons for drinking than we spent actually looking into AA with an open mind. Our investigation of it was hardly scientific, rather it was superficial and pessimistic, a search for things not to like. We neither talked with many of the sober members nor read at depth the quantities of literature by and about AA. If we did not like a few things or people we first encountered in AA, we gave up. We had tried it, hadn't we? Remember the man who said he didn't like reading? He already had a book and didn't like it. It is clear now that we could have acted differently. We could have invested some time in searching out things we did like in AA, ways we could go along with it, statements and ideas we did agree with. We could have been thankful that AA welcomes casual visitors and that we were not required to jump in headlong. We could have been grateful that AA has no dues or fees and demands no adherence to any doctrine, rules, or rituals. If some talkative AAs weren't to our taste, we could have been pleased that so many others kept quiet or spoke more to our liking. We could have kept trying to find out why so many eminent professional experts have endorsed AA over and over for so many years. It must be doing something right. Staying sober can boil down to just such a choice, we have learned. We can spend hours thinking of reasons that we want or need or intend to take a drink, or we can spend the same time listing reasons that drinking is not good for us and abstaining is more healthful, and listing things we can do instead of drinking. Each of us makes that choice in his or her own way. We are pleased when anyone else chooses to make a decision like ours. But whether you are interested in AA or not, we offer good wishes to anyone starting out to stay sober in any way. We keep being grateful that we are free to do it in the ways described here.
Perfect. So we're going to move on. Let's mark the next story for next week. Remembering your last drunk. We read Living Sober every single Saturday. So a couple things about this meeting. All right. In this meeting, we take everybody through the steps and through the 12-step process. Like I was saying earlier, it is like a class. It is a workshop. And then we follow the precepts that Alcoholics Anonymous came up with in 1932 when it was formed, the year Prohibition ended and America got back to drinking. What they did is they worked the program this as a group, just like us here, and they all did it together. And they went through this 12-step process. So what is Alcoholics Anonymous? I'll tell you what it's not. It's not going to AA meetings and talking about your cat, or your dog, or your wife, or your husband, or your job. It's a 12-step process how to live your life without drinking. What? No cats? No! But we do have Cat Friday. For those people who are obsessed with cats, that wouldn't be me, of course, but then you can bring your cat on Friday, like Preston has his cat here today, but that's okay because the cat's not interrupting. And then we have a day for dogs. We have Dog Thursday. People bring their dogs on Thursday. Like last Thursday, Cassie showed up in bed, 2 dogs. It was a very big deal. They were happy. She got to talk about her dogs. But the other 5 days of the week, we talk about the 12-step process, how it teaches you how to live just okay, enough. Go sit down. Go on. Teaches you how to live your life without drinking. That's what AA is. Wait a minute, what? Alcoholics Anonymous is a 12-step process that teaches us all how to live our lives without drinking. Like they say in therapy, like if you've been to therapy and the therapist says, well, recovery is a process and it's going to take some time. Well, that's what AA is. AA is a process. It's a 12-step process that teaches you how to live your life without drinking. And that's what we do here. That's what's going on here. That's all that's going on here. So we don't really care about your cat, your dog, your wife, your job, your husband, your boyfriend. We don't give a shit about any of that. It's irrelevant. There are plenty of meetings that you can go to where you can whine and complain. And the only meeting that we recommend here in this group is one that's called, are you ready, Lisa? It's called 24-hour international meeting. And she's going to put up the name and the Zoom number for that. And that's the one where new people go and they go, oh my God, my life is so horrible. But it's on every hour on the hour. It starts a new meeting. It's really quite good. So if you're kind of messed up, it's one you can turn on at night. We recommend that. So we give you, just so you know, give you reading assignments, writing assignments. We sponsor you. I need a sponsor. You've got one. Bingo. The whole group sponsors you. What? Yeah, we all do. We sponsor you. We take you through the 12 steps. Give reading assignments and writing assignments. We'll take you through the whole AA program in about a month, month and a half. Boom, you're healed. And that's what happens here. And you're about to see some of that right now. Jessica, do you have a cat? I can see you laugh. She's cracking up. She's like, oh, this guy is like off the hook. You have a cat
I
or a
do
dog?
have a cat, and I'm in my basement where he's not allowed, but normally
No.
there'd be a tail, a waggling.
Yeah,
Right on
there's a lot of that here. And if you have a dog, Dog
I
Thursday,
do
we have.
not.
Yeah,
I do have a 7-year-old who's upstairs, so I'm like, I'm going where you can't go.
Yeah,
The
well,
basement.
we have, this meeting is kid friendly, so we don't really care. Kids come in. Dog friendly, if your dog barks, we don't care. If your kid yells, that's fine. If your cat is in the room, that's fine, we don't care. Okay. I mean, we've even had, we've had a few husbands walk through. The wife will be on the Zoom meeting, and then he'll come out of the bathroom, just like walk right out in his underpants. It's like, oh my God, hide your face. Okay, that's about all that happens in here. That's what the fuck? All right, so we were going to work on the third step today. Who are we going to do that with? Tell me, Lisa, who are the 3 people doing the third step with today?
Joe, Jason, and Lori
Okay, Joe, you're
from
here, right?
Boston.
Raise your hand, Joe. Jason, you're here. Hey.
Jason Akron and Lori from Virginia.
Lori, where are you? Raise your hand.
I don't know if I saw
There's
Lori.
Joe. Hey, Joe, how's it going? Glad you're here. And where's
Hello.
Lori? Where's Lori? There's Lori. Okay, unmute, you guys. Okay, so we're going to read in 80 pages 60 through 63. Let's put that up, Lisa. Thank you. Which is the third step, made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood him. So in the second step, we wrote down, if God were a superhero or a best friend, what are 10 attributes? So you've all done that, and you've all read through 60 through 63. So now we're officially going to take the third step, and everybody get your big book out. Put that up, please. Page 63, so everybody can see it. And then Jason, you want to start reading Being Convinced we were at.
Yeah.
Introduce yourself too.
Jason, alcoholic, Akron, Ohio. Being convinced that we are at step 3, which is that we decided to turn our will and our life over to God as we understood him. Just what do we mean by that? And just what do we do? The first requirement is that we be convinced that any life run on self-will can hardly be a success. On that basis, we are almost always in collision with someone or something. Even though our motives are good, most people try
Well,
to
I
live
do
by
believe
self-propulsion.
there is an ability.
No talking while we're doing this. Go ahead, keep going.
Each person is like an actor who wants to run the whole show. Is forever trying to arrange the lights, the ballet, the scenery, and the rest of the players in his own way. If his arrangements would only stay put, if only people would do as he wished, the show would be great. Everybody, including himself, would be pleased. Life would be wonderful. In trying to make these arrangements, our actor may sometimes be quite virtuous. He may be kind, considerate, patient, generous, even modest and self-sacrificing. On the other hand, he may be mean, egotistical, selfish, and dishonest. But
Stop
as
right.
with most humans, okay.
Yeah, it's the same trait. So is this describing you at all?
Yes.
How so?
To a T.
Oh, to a T. Well, that's
I'm
pretty.
the same way, trying to control everything, even though I was in a very bad downward spiral.
How about you, Joe? Does this describe you?
Yes, it does describe me. And I
How's-
apologize for speaking.
It's okay.
I was trying to tell someone to go away.
Yeah. So we have a lot of that in here, especially if you have a puppy. Get off the couch. Okay, so how does this describe you?
How it describes me, it just, I don't know. I mean,
Okay, that's okay. Lori, how about you? Does this apply to you, and how does it describe you?
I'm always in charge.
Okay, perfect. All right, so Joe, you want to pick it up and read from there? What usually happens?
what usually happens, the show doesn't come off very well. He begins to think life doesn't treat him right. He decides to exert himself more. He becomes, on the next occasion, still more demanding or gracious, as the case may be. Still, the play does not suit him. Admitting he may be somewhat at fault, he is sure that other people are more to blame. He becomes angry, indignant, self-pitying. What is his basic trouble? Is he not really a self-seeker even when trying to be kind? Is he not a victim of the delusion that he can wrest satisfaction and happiness out of this world if he only manages well? Is it not evident to all the rest of the players that these are the things he wants? And do not his actors make each of them wish to retaliate, snatching all they can get out of the show? Is he not, even in his best moments, a producer of confusion rather than harmony? Our actor is self-centered, egocentric, as people like to call it nowadays. He is like the retired businessman who lolls in Florida sunshine in the winter, complaining of the sad state of the nation. The minister who sighs over the sins of the 20th century, politicians and reformers who are sure all would be a utopia if the rest of the world would only behave. The outlaw safecracker who thinks society has wronged him, and the alcoholic who has lost all and is locked up. Whatever our protestations, are not most of us concerned with ourselves, our resentments, our self-pity? Selfishness, self-centeredness, that, we think, is the root of our troubles, driven by 100 forms of fear, self-delusion, self-seeking, and self-pity. We step on the toes of our fellows and they retaliate. Sometimes they hurt us, seemingly without provocation, but we invariably find that it's sometimes in the past we have made decisions based on self, which later placed us in a position to be hurt.
Okay, stop right there for a second. So isn't this like the description of the alcoholic mind and the alcoholic behavior, Joe?
Yes, but I feel when I read certain things, it's the behavior of an alcoholic, but it's also how I was before I started drinking.
Of course. Yeah. I mean, yeah. How about you, Lori? Is this?
Oh yeah, I'm the one that kills everybody with kindness, and then when they aren't, don't.
Sorry.
What's wrong with them?
Not me. Go ahead, Lori. Keep reading.
All right. So our troubles, is that where we are?
Yeah. Mhm.
So our troubles, we think, are basically of our own making. They arise out of ourselves, and the alcoholic is an extreme example of self-will run riot, though he usually doesn't think so. Above everything, we alcoholics must be rid of this selfishness. We must, or it kills us. God makes that possible. And there's often seems no way of entirely getting rid of self without his aid. Many of us had moral and philosophical convictions galore, but we could not live up to them even though we would have liked to. Neither could we reduce our self-centeredness much by wishing or trying on our own power. We had to have God's help.
Let me stop you for right there for a second. So you see, it's part of the alcoholic condition or mind. It's one of the reasons why we have steps 10, 11 every day to kind of dismantle this wiring, this defective thinking. This is all about the defective thinking of the alcoholic. I'm in charge. I'm going to run things. Oh, but you're pushing everybody away. So what? I'll find new people. But, it's like um, this is the alcoholic condition. It's total madness. It's why therapists want you to keep coming back for years on end and paying them $125 a week, or whatever. Rebecca, what do they charge now? Do you know? Is it, you have to unmute. Go ahead. What do they charge? Can you unmute? You're a co-host, you can unmute. Go ahead. What do they charge?
They charge about 260 now, $260 an hour.
Do you know how much they charged when I first went to therapy?
Probably 65, 60. No.
$20. $20. That was just before I started coming to AA. Okay, keep reading, Lori. Sorry for the interruption.
Okay.
Here we don't charge anything. Here, it's like put $1 in the basket. What basket? Would you put that Zoom thing up for, not Zoom, but the Venmo? Yeah, you want to make a donation to this meeting, you can. We spend about $250 a month. We generally send like 100 to Father Terry, who is our official priest in this meeting. Then we send money to Boulder One Foundation. We send money to Boulder AOIA or whatever that's called, who lists us, and then we send money to New York Central Office. So there you have it. Okay, Lori, keep going after you.
This is the how and why of it. First of all, we had to quit playing God. It didn't work. Next, we decided that hereafter in this drama of life, God was going to be our director. He is the principal. He is the father. We are his children. Most good ideas are simple, and this concept was the keystone of the new and triumphant arch through which we passed to freedom. When we sincerely took such a position, all sorts of remarkable things followed. We had a new employee, being all powerful. He provided what we needed if we kept close to him and performed his work well. Established on such a footing, we became less and less interested in ourselves, our little plans and designs. More and more, we became interested in seeing what we could contribute to life. As we felt new power flow in, as we enjoyed peace of mind, as we discovered we could face life successfully, as we became conscious of his presence, we began to lose our fear of today. We began to lose our fear of today, tomorrow, or the hereafter.
Oh, you're breaking up. Stop right there. Okay, you're just stop. Okay, so when they talk about this new and triumphant arch through which we pass to freedom, this is somewhat biblical, the keystone. So the Romans built these arches, and part of the Christian Judeo movement was that you needed a power of the universe of God to help you through your life, especially in times, you know, around the first century. I mean, look at us today. Here we are in the 21st century, and we are more advanced as a civilization than ever in any time. Everyone has access to everything. Still, we're alcoholics. I mean, these guys were hopeless alcoholics in the 1930s. We are hopeless alcoholics today. We still need this universal life force. We still need this power to help heal us. It's what alcoholism does is it brings us to our knees where we reach out and say help. There's a lot of other things going on right now, and like that's why therapy is so big. Some people say I don't like Alcoholics Anonymous, I don't like what they teach. I have a therapist, or I'm going to go to mental health. They're helping me. But the thing that we discovered here, you know, like, okay, people go to church. Why do they do that? They go for a refresher, to be recharged every Sunday or whatever, to let the power of the Spirit in. That's why the whole born again movement, the evangelical movement, really got rocking in the 30s, right about the same time as AA did. They realized that if they could tap this power, it would make their lives better. All you have to do is just go watch Joel. What's Joel's last name? Anybody know? Say it. What's his last name?
Olstein.
What is it? Olstein. Yeah, Joel Olstein. You notice how he really hits it. That's why his church is so successful. But he hits on the same things that we're hitting on here. Here, you know, we have this other problem. We have alcohol and drugs that overtake our lives. And if we don't tap into this healing power, this healing energy, we are dead. Now, some people can seem to go do it at mental health if the county has mental health and it's free. Other people, you know, sometimes people pay therapists apparently $250 a week. So it says here, 63, when we took such a position, all sorts of remarkable things followed. Here it is. We had a new employer. Being all powerful, he provided what we needed if we kept close to him and performed his work well. What is God's work? For our purposes here, God's work is, for our purposes, God's work is to stay sober, don't drink, come to this meeting, and work through the 12-step process. That's what performed his work. What is God's work for us? Stay sober, come to meetings, do the 12 steps. Established on such a footing, we became less and less interested in ourselves and little plans and designs. Well, early on, I did not become less interested. I was in my 20s when I got here. When I got here, I was interested in getting a job, having friends, getting a car, finding a place to live, getting some clothes. You know, I had nothing when I got here. I had lost everything. So later in life, I became interested in other things, but not early on. So, but for Bill Wilson, he wrote this. He had already been a successful Wall Streeter, so he already had everything. He was driving the Stutz Bearcat, a 1930s car. He had running water. So yeah, of course he was going to let go, but most of us, hell no. Okay. Here it is. We became conscious of his presence and began to lose our fear today, tomorrow, and the hereafter. We were reborn. So this is the Alcoholics Anonymous born again statement. It's the conversion. This is the statement of conversion from self to Christ, from self to God, from running on our own willpower to letting go and letting God come in. That's what this whole third step is really about. Okay, so hey, Jason, you want to read this? We were now at step 3.
Yeah. We were now at step 3. Many of us said to our Maker, as we understood him, God, I offer myself to thee, to build with me and to do with me as thou wilt. Relieve me of the bondage of self, that I may better do thy will. Take away my difficulties, that victory over them may bear witness to those I would help of thy power, thy love, and of thy way of life. May I do thy will always. We thought well before taking the step, making sure we were ready, that we could at last abandon ourselves utterly to him. We found it very desirable to take the spiritual step with an understanding person, such as our wife, best friend, or spiritual advisor. But it is better to meet God alone than with one who might misunderstand. The word was, of course, quite optional so long as we expressed the idea, voicing it without reservation. This was the beginning, though if honesty and humbly made an effect, sometimes a very great one, was felt at once.
Stop there. Okay, so perfect. So you guys can take like the rest of today or tonight, meditate on this, and then we will, so you've done the 3rd step. And next, we can go to, we'll start on the 4th step. So there you have it. So just, we have, actually we're out of time. So, hey, Matt, you want to read the promises? Is he still here or did he leave? Oh, he left, huh? You want, no, not you. We're going to call on Cassie. Are you still doing baths? Oh, you want to read the promises? Okay. Well, Cassie, read the promises. Slowly but surely. Here we go. Don't call me
All
Shirley.
right. Hi, everybody. My name's Cassie, and I'm an alcoholic, and these are the promises. If we are painstaking about this phase of our development, we will be amazed before we are halfway through. We are going to know a new freedom and a new happiness. We will not regret the past, nor wish to shut the door on it. We will comprehend the word serenity, and we will know peace. No matter how far down the scale we have gone, we will see how our experience can benefit others. A feeling of uselessness and self-pity will disappear. We will lose interest in selfish things and gain interest in our fellows. Self-seeking will slip away. Our whole attitude and outlook on life will change. Fear of people and economic insecurity will leave us. We will intuitively know how to handle situations which used to baffle us. We will suddenly realize that God is doing for us what we could not do for ourselves. Are these extravagant promises? We think not. They are being fulfilled among us, sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly. They will always materialize if we work for them.
Thank you. Hey, Preston, you want to lead us in the Serenity Prayer?
Yeah, sure. Preston Alcoholic, if everyone would join me in the Serenity Prayer, goes like this. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference.
Okay, so the meeting's officially over. If anybody who's new here, if you have any questions about AA or about this meeting, go right ahead and ask.